Good evening. Welcome back, delegates, chairs, advisors, leadership, and guests. Once again, we're concluding with our closing ceremony for Bsbmun 7, and I'm very happy to present our concluding and last remarks for the conference. I'm Felipe Holgen, Secretary General for Bsbmun 7, and I'm very happy to be bringing this wonderful and successful conference to a close. I'll be honest, when we started planning Bsbmun 7, I wasn't convinced it was going to be a very good success. For me, having an online conference has always been a sort of disappointment compared to a real-life physical one. We're missing out on the human interaction, the trips, seeing people. There's a lot that's missing from an online conference, and it's obvious. However, this conference has proved me wrong. I'm extremely pleased with the level of debate in our committees, the professionalism of our chairs, and the support of our advisors and staff who helped us to make Bsbmun 7 not just an online conference, but a fantastic online conference. I wanted to share a couple of remarks about Bsbmun and the value of MUN in general. My water bottle is from Bsbmun 4. So, as my final Bsbmun and one of my last MUN conferences in general, in my high school years, I'd like to just talk about the value that MUN has brought to diplomacy and also to my life. Why do MUN? Why go through the trouble of dressing up, of pretending to be countries, of sitting through a conference for hours and hours and hours? Is it really just to have an extra bullet point on your college application? Is it really to improve debate skills and public speaking? I'd argue that MUN does something that no other club can do. It allows for the freedom to use diplomacy and to build relationships like no other. MUN forces newcomers to not just leave their comfort zone, but to jump straight out of it, to speak and communicate with people on the spot. MUN doesn't just involve repeating procedures and etiquette, but knowing how to bend those rules to be able to communicate more effectively and get your own way. MUN takes us on trips to new places, to see new people, and to communicate and interact and build relationships with individuals we never would have even known existed. So for me, MUN is more than just an activity. It's a valuable part of my high school career, and it's been a tremendous experience. Friends I've met, jokes I've told, stories I've made, have all shaped my life and also my experience in high school. This is why Bsbmun 7 as an online conference makes me so proud, because it is a testament that even when there are difficult challenges and we have impediments that don't allow us to have our normal conferences, that are totally outside of our control, we can still have a fantastic online experience and cherish MUN. For making this conference a success and making it a wonderful one, I thank you all. Never let MUN die, despite the challenges, because it's too good to give up. With that, I'd like to present some of our committees, their awards, and the final thoughts that the chairs might have about them. So firstly, I'd like to talk about the Security Council, which dealt with de-escalating the Russo-Ukrainian crisis, chaired by Daniel Cavalieros and Noam Knan.
Hey delegates, I'm Daniel. I was the head chair for the Security Council for Bsbmun 7. Over these past 2 days, debate was very entertaining, it was very fun, and I hope you guys learned a lot over the course of the committee sessions. And so for the awards, unfortunately there were 2 delegates who we wanted to give awards to, but in lack of a number of awards, we decided to give them verbal commendations, which were delegations of China and the delegations of the DPRK.
Hi delegates, my name is Noam and I am the Vice Chair of the Security Council. This was a great committee, well done, and the outstanding awards go to the Delegation of Brazil and Delegation of Ukraine. Congratulations.
And for the Best Delegate Award, there was only one delegate who really seemed like they deserved it, and because of their position, and it was very entertaining to watch them debate, which was the delegation of Russia.
Thank you very much, chairs. We hope it was a very special Security Council because we dealt with a very concurrent issue and one that is ongoing. So thank you very much, delegates and chairs, for such a committee. Next, we'd like to talk about the political committee and their issue of resolving the Israel-Palestine conflict with emphasis on the Gaza dispute. Chaired by Carolina Barroso and Giovanni Lacerda, let's hear their thoughts.
Through these hours of intense debates, delegates have shown their deep knowledge about the topic, bringing a high level of debate and making the chairs very proud. Delegates were enthusiastic and passionate about the topic, and were constantly asking strong and challenging POIs that, together with the amendments, were able to create excellent resolutions. Despite having two blocks with diverging opinions, delegates were always inclusive with speaking in the committee, giving all delegations an opportunity to speak and express themselves. Several delegates started the conference being shy and afraid, but throughout these hours, they understood more of MUN and started to deliver relevant points and speeches. Because of your amazing performance, me and Carol wish we could give awards and mentions to everyone, but since we need to choose, we have decided upon the delegates that kept the committee flowing and were consequently leading the bloc and the committee. For verbal mentions, we have decided on delegations that were active on the debates, always filling the committee with insightful and strong points. We are glad to announce we will be awarding the verbal mentions to United Kingdom and France. For the Outstanding Delegate Awards, we have chosen the delegates that were leading their bloc and constantly raising their hands, having powerful comments, speeches, and questions, and contributing a lot to the flow of debate. These delegates show eagerness within the topic being debated, so we are proud to announce the Outstanding Delegate Awards to the Delegation of Palestine and the Delegation of Taiwan. And last but not least, the Best Delegate Award will be given to a delegation who was leading the committee and immensely supporting the flow of debates, and always speaking with extreme confidence and using data to support their claims. Furthermore, this delegation was always faithful and clear with their position, challenging other delegations, increasing the level and depth of debates. Every reply, speech, and question this delegate brought was very strong, and above all, it is clear these delegates brought their passion to the committee. Now, without further ado, the Best Delegation Award goes to the Delegation of the United States. Congratulations, delegates, you earned it.
And finally, let's talk about the 1969 Historical Security Council, which revisited the historical topic of the Vietnam War. Chaired by Austin Monestel and Paola Ranchis, let's hear what the chairs have to say.
Cool. Delegates, this was I think I speak on behalf of the other chairs when this was a truly honorable committee, and you all were great debaters, but we must only choose four awards to be given. Firstly, the Verbal Commendation Award will be given to the Republic of China, the People's Republic of China. They were a very good speaker. They constantly raised their hand, and they were just overall a well-rounded delegate. Secondly, for the Outstanding Delegate, we'll be giving it to the United Kingdom. He was also much like the People's Republic of China and also knew procedure very well. Thirdly, we'll be giving the other Outstanding Delegate Award to the Republic of Vietnam. She, again, much like the United Kingdom, was very good. And then finally, we'll be giving the Best Delegate Award to the USSR. She was by far the one that spoke the most. She carried the debate. So thank you, delegates.
And finally, before we close our conference, I'd like to give some particular acknowledgements and highlight the work and contributions of some people for making Bsbmun 7 a reality. Firstly, I'd like to seriously thank our tech team and our maintenance team, who, as I've said, never have the spotlight and are never really highlighted, but they're indispensable. And I mean indispensable. They clean after us and they make our conference a practical reality. So I really wanted to thank them and highlight their work and contribution. Please, round of applause. Next, I'd like to thank our advisors here at EAB, Ms. Gracinia and Mr. Kessler, for being supportive, but above all, for trusting us with Bsbmun 7. Your trust in us is not misplaced. In this line, I'd also like to thank a very special person, our activities coordinator, Ms. Andrea Borges. Without her, we wouldn't have been able to plan even half of this conference. We wouldn't have gotten pizza last night, and we wouldn't have had as much fun as we did. So please, I'd like to recognize Miss Andrea Borges, and we have a little present for you. I'd also like to thank the schools, single delegations, and advisors for working alongside us for months, filling out forms, answering our emails, and having to trust an online conference that isn't always as real as it seems because it's not taking place physically. Thank you so much for trusting us in this uncertain period. We had a very successful Bsbmun 7 because of you. Round of applause. And last, but certainly not least, I'd like to congratulate the delegates and thank them. Your contributions have been magnificent, and with it, the delegates' hard work has made the conference actually occur. Like I mentioned, always cherish MUN. If it's a life changer. Even in difficult times, it'll always happen. Thank you, and always stick to MUN. And finally, as Secretary General, I officially declare Bsbmun 7 to be adjourned.